Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome to another class tactics setup advanced herp derp derp live. And today we're going to be talking about number 2 of the 3 different stealth things. Whoops, I'm in the wrong set here. And we're going to be talking about the stealth sniper. Now, I'm going to disclaim this by saying I'm not the best sniper. You all know that. That's not a special surprise to you guys, I'm sure. But this class is a little bit different, and I thought it was kind of a weird thing because I usually prefer bolt action, and I think most people that watch Black Ops 2 stuff generally tend to see more bolt action-y stuff, because you'll see more things like DSR, stuff like, wow, we got turbine, okay, that's weird. Alright, so anyways, let me just go run through the gameplay a little bit and kind of talk about what the mindset is, because obviously it's not going to translate one-to-one. One thing that is important to notice is that I do have a sidearm. Sidearms are generally just a good idea to have on here, just to make sure that you're not going to end up in a weird situation where you are in trouble whenever they close in on you. Now, what I'm doing right now is very stupid because I'm running out in the open like a moron and not playing very intelligently. But by theory, it should be you run up with your pistol out, and then once, ooh, dang. And then once you're not bad like me, then you can actually set up. But this is actually weird because the idea here is that this is a suppressed sniper rifle, and therefore I'm not using bolt action, because it's not going to be a one-shot kill. This is going to actually almost be like you're playing with a FAL or like something along those lines, more so than playing with, oh, a standard sniper rifle. But I do have a bouncing Betty just to kind of cover my tracks. It's not super mobile as a class, so I'm not going to try to make it super mobile, but this does have a little bit more mobility to it than you would expect from a sniper class. And because it's not a bolt action, you can kind of get away with doing some crazier stuff. Right there, I'm not really sure why it didn't connect. I feel like it should have, but maybe not. Who knows? But as you can tell, it's not going to be a one-shot kill. I think headshots may register as a one-shot kill, but in general, it's not going to be a one-shot kill. You will have to take a couple of shots just to take out anybody, but it's not too bad. It's usually pretty okay. You can get 2 shots in there pretty quickly with these sniper rifles, and I'm assuming that, you know, Advanced Warfare is not going to go too far from that formula of there's a bolt action and there's like the semi-autos. So this is actually a pretty decent kit. Now, it is important to notice that you are not exactly going to be running around with a very luxurious amount of extra stuff in your kit, right? You don't have any tacticals, so pressing up, it's not the greatest thing you can do, but it's not something that's impossible to do with this class. It's pretty efficient for changing positions and kind of swapping up tactics on the fly, which is nice, but definitely a little bit more challenging. One thing that this does offer you is it offers you a little bit more flexibility about changing positions between shots. So a lot of snipers, they have the problem of they are not able to be as mobile, and then whenever they are mobile, it's really easy to detect them and stuff like that. This class kind of avoids those problems, which is nice. Definitely isn't completely gone. You do have some issues that you need to worry for, but in general, it's pretty flexible, it's pretty mobile, and you can always change your position. So, you know, they're expecting, hey, a sniper is going to generally just stay in that one area. You can swap that up pretty quickly, and if you do want to, you can always like just ditch whatever gun you have and pick up another guy's gun. Definitely a valid thing to do, especially with this class. Oh, we got a customer. But yeah, like right there, sidearm, very handy. A lot more reliable in close range over your sniper rifle, just because it can get a little bit tricky to aim sometimes. But again, if you're really good at the game, then you probably are going to be comfortable just kind of under fire, still letting loose a couple rounds and stuff, which is good. But in my case, I know I don't like to goof around with that too often. And I am running Ghost on here, so basically whenever I'm zipping around like this, they can't see me on the radar. I'm hoping that will continue to be true, that there is some form of anti-UAV detection. But it does help to have that kind of ability to relocate without things just immediately locking onto you and wrecking your day. Whoop. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, having a pistol makes me happy. That's something that's definitely more of a characteristic of me, more so than anything else, but I do really enjoy my pistols. Alright. Alright, I need to get out of here. Hostiles have destroyed your equipment. Oof, almost oversampled. Yeah, the TAC 45, it would not be my normal choice. The only reason why I'm actually using the TAC 45 is to level it up. Because I do want to get Diamond Pistolas sometime in the near future. Whoop. Got him. Nice. And the SVU also has a added benefit. Now, some people may not look at this as like an added benefit, but for me, I think it's a benefit where you are able to, as you're moving around, you do have the added advantage of if you just need to suppress or if you need to just kind of put pressure on people, you can actually do that with the SVU a lot easier than the DSR or any version of bolt action, because bolt action does have a hard time suppressing people, which is, you know, kind of a shame, but it is what it is. But ooh, missile. I would definitely recommend that you play this almost like the run and gun advance, I believe. Whenever you want to set up like an AO, you want to keep one general area. You don't want to drift too far because it's not a run and gun class. You want to make sure that you stay within a limited area, but you do want to kind of be moving around within that limited area. Oof. Alright, let's get out of here. It's a little too hot for me. Oh, I'm gonna miss that guy. Dang. Oh, there he is. He's crossing. And the nice thing also, now toughness I heard is going to be reworked, so it's not super strong. It's not a needed crutch perk, and I'm getting that from Drifter, and I trust that dude. But basically, like if you're talking about clutch perks, toughness is not going to be super strong to the point where like you need to have it in order to be somewhat competitive. And that is really, really nice because that means that whenever you snipe them, especially with a class like this where it does a lot of damage, but it's not going to be a one-shot kill, it'll make them flinch. It'll make it easier for you to follow up with the other shots, which is really, really handy, obviously. So you do want to kind of pay attention to that as well. Dragonfire. I'm not sure how I feel about Dragonfire, but no. But yeah, SVU, I like this gun as like a general sniper rifle to use, just to be comfortable with in your kit. It does allow you to do a little bit crazier stuff in terms of you can follow up shots. If you miss your first shot, it's not the end of the world. Oh, and right there you see just that bad aim, though. It's something of an issue, but it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna probably yeah, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and pick this up, and then what do I want to do? I think I want to go down here. Then I'm gonna peek up a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna deploy my Dragonfire. I think we're gonna see if we can get the win. It's gonna be tricky though. Let's see if we can mow this guy down. He's taking some flak. But we're in okay shape so far, I think. Ooh. Alright. Man, we are doing some serious work with this Dragonfire. Alright, we got another one. Cool, cool, cool. Very nice, very cool. Oof, they finally took it down. Oh, and I'm still alive too. Nice. But we're still behind. Dang. That is rough. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Alright, drop that guy over there. And then as always, with all the stealth classes... Oh, dang. Ah, I got caught in a really crap spot. So right there, that was just a really bad choice on my part. The team's not doing too well, but that's not really much of an excuse. You know, it will happen to you. If I had a little bit more gun skill and a little bit better streaks for what I'm doing right now, that would be more helpful. Unfortunately, I do not have that set on this class, and you gotta work with what you got, so. And I just killed myself. Don't I feel silly? And I knew that was gonna happen too. Dadgum. But it is what it is. And let's just keep on going, and let's see if we can turn this around. I think, you know, it's not impossible. It would be pretty hard to win, but we'll see. But it really is going to depend upon like how quickly our teammates go down, as well as how dumb I am right here. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh god! Oh no. The absolute worst. I hate Turbine. I hate this map with a passion. It's just so expansive for no reason. Ugh. I just got outplayed so hard. I tried to snipe. I should have switched to my sidearm, but I didn't. But I did. I do hope that you guys got something out of this that was at least somewhat useful to you guys for setting up your classes. We'll talk about the actual perks and stuff in a second here. I'm going to just have to wait for the match to end, and then we'll have all the time in the world to talk about it. But I'm not going to have won it for the team. I did let the team down a lot there. You know, what can you do, though? Alright, so let's get down to brass tacks about the actual class setup and the general approach that I'm going to be looking for in Advanced Warfare if I do like to do this. Now, admittedly, I don't like doing this a lot. I think that, in general, Call of Duty tends to go like one way or the other. Like, on one side, it'll be like, oh, you know what? You have a really good time to kill gun. Oh, that's not ruthless. Dang, I apparently went pretty ham. But usually it tends to be like, oh, you're either going really fast time to kills, really strong guns, bolt action sniper rifles, really like fast shooting submachine guns, good speed and damage in case of certain ARs, stuff like that. Very, very cool and very, very important. And so stuff like this kind of thing where it's like semi-auto suppressed sniper, it's like, it's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's not great though. But it is fun to use from time to time, and I think I might try this out at some point. We'll see. But this is the class setup. Suppressor, fast mags on there just because whenever since you have Scavenger, you have the luxury of being able to go after bodies, picking up more bullets, and so I want to make sure that that gun has almost 100% uptime. So in any medium or greater range fights, I should have an advantage because my gun's going to do a lot of damage. At medium range, you do have to be a little bit careful about the AR, but if you get the first shot off, generally you can just, in the case of PC, double tap it on your mouse, but that's pretty easy from double clicking. On console, it's a little bit slower just because you have to actually release your trigger and then pull it all the way back, but it's not too bad. The TAC-45, it's a solid pistol just because it has good damage. In fact, a lot of people swear by the TAC-45 more than the 5.7. I prefer the 5.7, but TAC-45 is definitely a solid choice because it has a very, very high damage output per pull, and it still pulls pretty quickly, so it's actually a really solid gun. And the accuracy isn't too shabby either. So you do want an accurate sidearm, though. That's very, very important. You want to be accurate in that because hopefully your gunplay is pretty good with a sniper in the first place so you can actually hit your targets. So that's very important. Then going into the perks, Blind Eye, you know, some people will be like, well, what about Flak Jacket and stuff like that? Again, I'm not really sure how Advanced Warfare's perk system will work, but I do prioritize Blind Eye over all that stuff because you shouldn't be locking yourself into a situation where you're in a nest and you can't get out. So if a grenade flies, like, you shouldn't be panicking, like, oh my god, I can't get out of the situation. It should be something that you can get out pretty quickly, but Blind Eye lets you kind of avoid getting murked from random skill streaks, score streaks, whatever it is, that you could normally not avoid. So in the case of headwigs or freaking missiles, stuff like that, it does give you the opportunity to at least bypass some of those, so you don't get instantaneously murked, which is nice. Cold-blooded, the identification at long range does matter a little bit more. If otherwise, they may not notice you. So if they're going over you with like a tracking scope type thing, if they go over you, but it doesn't light you up at range, there's a chance that they might be like, oh, I didn't really see that guy very clearly, and they just move on because they're looking for that red light up. So if you're actually doing that, it's pretty cool. Whoops-a-doodles. And then, let's see. Alright, so then there is the Tactical Mask. And that is because whenever you're on the move, regardless, it's always a great... I think Tactical Mask, in general, has always been something that you want to have on your classes. Getting concussed is the most annoying and most horrendous thing that can happen to you, just because you are locked down. There's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. Especially if you play... On console, this is particularly true if you play on low sensitivity. For us on PC, it's a little bit different. We can swipe our mice into like different DPI if you have a fancy mouse. Or more than that, we just treadmill the crap out of it. But if your sensitivity is low on console, if you're concussed, that thing's going to move according to how much you're pressing against it with the sensitivity counted for, I believe. And so you're going to move it very quickly, which is kind of a problem. And Bouncing Betty, just to make sure that you can create like a little AO for yourself, if that's what you want to do. That's the way I recommend doing it. But yeah, this is kind of a whack-a-mole-ish class. I think it's really fun. And definitely something that you guys should give a try if you are interested in that kind of stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit the like button down below. Comment down what you'd like to see next. And, of course, subscribe for more Call of Duty and FPS content. I'll see you guys next time.